If you've ever heard of MMA, if you've ever heard of martial arts, Sid is the man who is going to make MMA famous in the UK. And he's going to get MMA onto your screens if he dies trying. So I welcome today's guest, Sid. Sid, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Jacob. Yourself?
I'm great. I'm great. So we're going to go on a journey to find out who you are, what your story is, how MMA TV came about, and just ultimately to find out why you're doing what you're doing and what inspires you and motivates you to get out of bed every single day. So if you don't mind me asking, who are you and what do you do?
Hit me with the questions. Obviously, I'm Sid, and I've been on a journey just to try and educate people, fans, athletes, about the industry of mixed martial arts.
About the industry of mixed martial arts. What is martial arts?
Martial arts, it's a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Some see it as a way of living, a way of life. They get up every day, they train, they exercise, they live, breathe and die mixed martial arts. Some people use it as protection, some people use it as a way to build confidence. Some people bring their kids into it so that they can grow up being strong, being confident individuals as they're going through school. And some people use it as a way to make a living. And all of it is positive. You rarely see anything negative with people that are involved in any sort of martial arts. It's normally something that brings confidence out of people and makes them stand tall, makes them feel good about themselves. And that's why a lot of people either do it, consume it, or live that martial arts life. Yeah.
So what made you choose martial arts? Why martial arts? Because boxing, basketball, hockey, table tennis. But what for you made you fall in love with MMA and martial arts in the first place?
When I was young, I started off actually with judo. So I'd done judo from quite a young age. I was around 10, 11 when I started judo. I was pretty good at judo, to be honest. Then I moved over to boxing. I started boxing from around 14 years old. So I've done that quite religiously. Again, you keep fit, you can protect yourself. It's competitive. So if you notice, these are one-on-one sort of activities. So you only have to think about yourself, and that's what I like. I prefer to, focus on what I'm doing, and I either win or I lose or I do better or I do worse. But it's all about myself and the journey that I'm taking. So I always enjoyed the competitive nature of judo, the competitive nature of boxing. I'd done that until I think I was college. Then I was more into sort of lifting weights and stuff like that for a little while, keeping fit, because you're doing your studies. It's hard to, do both really. So I've done that, went to uni, carried on, working out and stuff. And then I saw at uni a UFC actually. So I saw a UFC, I thought, this is pretty cool. This is great. I've lived my whole life not liking football and stuff like that. There was nothing on TV for me to watch. So growing up, your friends, I'm going down the pub, I'm going to watch the football at the pub, we all get together. I never done that, I never liked it. But it would have been something, if I'd enjoyed, I would have liked to have done. So I never had that. When I saw the UFC, I was like, oh wow, this is great. I love this. Like, this is finally, after all of these years, I'm at uni, after all these years, there's a sport that I enjoy. And I thought, how am I gonna learn this? So I just went onto the internet, Googled a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academy. Luckily, there was one in Milton Keynes at the time. I was in Northampton. 20 minutes away, 25 minutes away. Went down and joined the club. Fell in love with it straight away. Got whooped straight away by the people that were in the class. And I was a very big guy at that time, very big. And these guys were small. They weren't big at all, which showed me you don't have to be big and strong, what I thought, in order to be an effective, competitor. So I loved it because I thought, well, I'm a big guy. If I can get as good as these, and I'm big, I'm going to be great at this. And that's what happened. I trained and trained and trained. The weight come down, more athletic rather than big, more cardio, more agility, it was great, and I fell in love. And that was really my journey to the start of it, because I was around some very good people, really, really good athletes, and I didn't know who there was at the time, and that was the start of it. They were so good. I was lucky to be in the same room as them. It was just by coincidence, and that was really the start of it. So
yeah. So how do we now go from you stumbling across UFC and TV to you going to Milton Keynes, which is 20 minutes from Northampton, to you getting whooped, as you said, by people smaller than you?
Yeah.
How do we go from that to where you are now in terms of the founder of MMA TV?
It was a simple story, to be fair. There was a lot of high-level athletes there. At that time, there was guys like Przemysław Musiala. He was like a top light heavyweight fighter. Alexander Adrizzo, who was Cage Warriors champion at the time. There was Danny Batten, who was also a Cage Warriors champion. These were just a few of the guys that were in the room, but they were super, super high level. To be honest, they was all working really, really hard jobs every day, but they were top level in mixed martial arts. At that time, I'd been running a separate business, which was a security business, for a few years, and my knowledge of business was increasing every day. So I thought, I could probably do a good job of getting you more money, for one, so you can train full time and be even better, and get more people to know you. I thought I'd mirror the sort of the business that I've learned from building my own business and put it over into this and helping these guys out so they didn't have to work so hard, really. That was really the name of the game. So I started managing athletes literally from after maybe 6 months into the start of my training. I was doing all right, so people could see my progression. After 3 months, I was competing and winning and doing a good job. Yeah. Tooting my own horn, but I was doing I competed after 3 months and I won international competitions and stuff. Wow. So I was doing all right. Wow. So I thought, do you know what? They can respect me on a level that I know what I'm doing in business, and I starting to learn the industry that they're in, and they gave me a chance to, manage some of them. So I managed them, and from then, obviously they being the top, I learned the industry quite quickly because I was managing some of the top guys in the sport. Yeah. So, and I did do a good job with them. I made them more money, I made them more exposure, I got them the fights and the career that they probably didn't have before. Yeah. So I had made an impact on their lives. Yeah. And that was the first area. What I did notice is, as my roster of athletes got bigger, moving from 5 to 10 to 20, not everybody can be on TV. Not everybody can get sponsorship deals and endorsement deals, because in order to get the good money from sponsorship and endorsements, ideally you need to be on TV, and there's not a lot of people showing it on TV. So we're cutting out a good 8 years here with that progression to, well, if I can't get everybody on TV and then they can't get the exposure from the brands and the sponsorship and endorsements, then I'll make my own TV. Wow. And I'll put them on my TV. Wow. And everybody can see them, and everybody can then pay them for their brands and their sponsorship and their endorsements. And that's how I'll roll it. So I was in touch with all the big promotions in the UK and Europe. My fighters were already fighting on their shows, so I'll go to them. Do you want to put your event online? Do you want to do an online thing? It's going to be called MMA TV. Do you want to give it a try? We make money from pay-per-view, and that's what we do. Yeah. They literally all said because at this time nobody was doing it. Yeah. There was no one doing that sort of thing at all. Yeah. So it was innovative at the time. Yeah. They all said yes, so we got them all on, and it was doing good. The promotions were making money. My athletes were getting exposure. They could now say they're online. You could watch them on TV. Well, at that time you could watch them online. So you go on the computer, you could watch them online, which was more than before. Yeah. So now they're making additional money. Promotions making pay-per-view. And then obviously from then on it grew and grew and grew. More people knew about it. More people wanted to tune in and watch. It just grew, to be honest. It grew faster and bigger than I anticipated. So along with that, then I need to innovate the company as well. So then we got the apps. So now you can download it on your phone, and you can watch it on your phone, and now you can subscribe, and now you can do all this kind of thing because it's growing. And again, fast forward probably 5 years, then we've moved on to working with television. Brands like Samsung, Panasonic, LG, Plex, Rakuten. All these big brands now are working directly with MMA TV because they see what the growth of the sport, obviously powered by the UFC, and the level of the athletes coming from the UK, which then pushes the promotion, which then wants to be seen by more people, which is attractive to these kinds of brands. And that's a fast forward of 14, 15 years of work from how it started to really where we are now, with our first live event on the Samsung TV platform this weekend from the O2 Arena. So it's been a big journey. It's been an exciting journey, and it's gone from not knowing a lot about broadcasting and television to really having a high in-depth sort of understanding of what needs to be done and the intricacies behind behind what you see on the TV, the technical aspects. So that's been the journey. Really.
You said something quite interesting there, and I just want to touch on it or go back to it. You said that there was another business that you had, and there's some of the things that you learned from that other business. You wanted to kind of adapt it to this new situation with these athletes that you potentially wanted to manage. What was that business? And ultimately, the question that I want to ask is, how did you ever think that from that business you would now get to the place you are now, where you're working with the likes of Samsung, Rakuten, Panasonic, like you say? So what was that business, and did you ever think that, wow, the future of this could be this?
Well, no. So that's the simple question. I did not see any resonance from the industry which I was in, which is security industry, to anything to do with media or anything like that. That's a story within itself, how I got into the security game. So that was the business that I originally started. It was my first business. I was at university. One of my friends at university, who actually lived in Northampton, he was done security. I didn't know at the time, but he was a doorman. So he asked me one day, we're running short on a staff member. Would you be able to fill in? I was not really up for it at the time. I just started uni. I was only 3 to 6 months in. It just wasn't something that I wanted to do. But after some persuasion, I said, okay, I'll come and do it. So I went and did it. It was actually all right, and some decent money. Not really that hard work. Next week.
Were you one of the guys that just stood there, looked at, and then if you didn't like the person's trainers, you tell them to go home?
One of them ones. I never done that. I was a nice guy. I was a nice guy. Yeah, I was a nice guy. I was a big guy, but I was a nice guy.
You weren't the not today ones?
No. I was all right. I was nice. Right. Do you know what? I think it was a breath of fresh air.
Okay.
So that's what happened. The next week he asked me to come back again. The following week he asked me to come back again. From that week on, it was like, I'm pretty much part of the team now.
Fixture,
yeah. So I was that was my job whilst I was at uni, earning money. Probably around 3 months after that, the owner of the club promoted me, and I was a head doorman. So that was good, more money, brilliant. Then probably within 3 months after that, the owner always used to come to me, can you get any staff, because we were short. I was like, yeah, I know a couple of people. So I brought them along. He liked them. Again, I can get some more people. Yeah, I can get some more people. And I thought, wait a minute, if I'm bringing in people to work, maybe he can pay me and I'll pay them. And what's in between, the profit, I get to keep it. That's how we did it. He said, yep, straight away. And then it was my responsibility to get the staff in. I could do it easily. I got people from uni and stuff, and that was great. So during this time, I'm having a transition now with the mixed martial arts and the security work. So it gives you more confidence because you're competent, and with competence comes confidence, and that's what happened during that transition. And you don't have to be the big guy who's mean to everybody. You can be polite to people because you know that if a situation arises, you can deal with it efficiently and effectively because of the martial arts. Great. Different to what the big brutey guys punching people and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. No club owner wants that. It's not what they want. So when I was bringing people on, I was bringing on people that could talk. They were from uni, so they could talk. They were like, you know, similar to me, different walks of life. They could talk, but then I would train them as well. So every week I would personally train them in jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts, striking, so that they too could become competent. It's not just about being a big guy. So now you've got people that can talk politely, educated, but can also, you know, do what they need to do if a situation should arise. Perfect for a club owner. This was different from everybody else. So we now have very good staff in the security game. The club owner opened up a new club. Obviously, he employed us, more people. So now I've gone from, if I have 5 people, now I have 10 people working. Then after that, he gets a bar. Now on top of that, I've got another 5 people. So now I'm at like 15, 20 people that are working every week. Uni, all trained, all speak well. Word starts to spread. Oh, we've got these guys. They're very educated. They know what they're doing, and there's no brutality. It's all kind and effective sort of methods. Brilliant. Word spreads. We get more and more business. Before you know it, you've got 50 people. Then you've got 100 people, and it grows and grows like that. So that was what I found from the martial arts, the business side of growing a business, that it wasn't necessarily my plan, but you learn things along the way. How to increase people, you know, people knowing who you are, marketing, PR, all of that type of thing. So that is when I had to transition over, well, if I can do this, maybe I can make you a guy who's already got all the skills in the world. I could probably do something with you. I could probably get you some sponsors, I could probably get you endorsements, and I know I can definitely get you more money, and all them sort of, and that is where it sort of transitioned over. And it was a good journey. It was a good journey because it's fun. Mixed martial arts is fun. You go around, you go to different countries, you go to different towns, you go to different venues. It's all quite glitzy and glamoury, to be fair. And that's really what happened. And
So you just said something which I didn't even know. We were speaking before this interview. How you brought people on, you trained them, and because of the efficiency of the way you train people to be, the word got around to other bar owners or other club owners, where more business came to you because you had a model of work which was working. I guess my next question is, you seem to have had an entrepreneurial vein even in university. Did you know about business whilst you were in uni? Did you know what an entrepreneur was whilst you were in uni? How did you know to kind of to make the most of a situation when your friend said that, oh, will you come and do this for me, and then for it to get to where it was?
I didn't know what an entrepreneur was, to be honest. In my mind, I was going to university. I intended to be an investment banker. That was my sort of plan. I didn't really know anything about entrepreneurship. So the opportunities came, and I just dealt with them however I was ingrained, however I was wired, really. There was opportunities, and I did grab them with both hands, but it wasn't out of any pre-planned sort of ideas or anything like that. It was just, it came around, the opportunity was there, and I took it. From that moment on, once I'd done that and I saw how the business sort of grew, I then done more businesses, because in my mind I had a good blueprint. But in all honesty, there was one main thing in life what sort of changed me from, it sort of changed my path. I had a big business, a very big business, and it earned me a lot of money, which I was obviously happy with. I didn't really do things properly. It wasn't like, oh, I know how to do this, and I know how to do this, and I know how to do this. It was like, well, I'm just sort of going with the flow.
Winging it.
Yeah,
Say winging it,
I was winging it. And I went to a meeting, which I got called into a meeting, I think it was Whitbread. So they've probably been taken over now. They own all the...
Is it the hotels?
Yeah, they own hotels, they own the bars and like, what are them cheap bars called that don't play any music and stuff? Putting you on the spot now. There were some Lloyd's ones and there's some Weatherspoons. Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
These are sort of, they own lots of them.
Yeah.
I went to a meeting in their head office, I think it was in Birmingham or somewhere like that. I went to a meeting with them. They said, bring this, this, this and this. I didn't really know what it was. I chucked a few documents together, went to the meeting. And they're like, oh, can I see like your ISO and your BSI and all this? I was like, I had no clue what I meant. I looked smart, but I didn't know. I had a few documents and some insurance and stuff. Yeah. And they're like, they didn't really say anything at the time, but long story short, we want one person to do all of our venues, and that's how we're doing it from now on. I had about 5 of their venues in Northampton, obviously a lot of money at the time, and it just cut off. Because you haven't got the stuff what you needed. I was like, I don't even know what this stuff is. So after that, I asked, what is this stuff? And then I was told by, one of the companies, like a proper company, oh, you need to do this, this, and this. So I had to then go towards regulation, like proper regulation with the BSIs and the ISOs, and have all the documentation in order. And it taught me to be more corporate, I suppose is the word. And that was a good learning curve for me, because when you're corporate, you not only feel good because you've got everything in order, you are now an efficient and you're a legitimate business. You have heads of departments, you have all the insurances that you need, you're doing all your taxes right, you're doing everything to the highest degree. You walk into places, you just put your documents on the table and they will hire you because you have it all. And that took me to another level. Then it took me from maybe having 100 people all the way up to like 300 staff, all done right, all done properly. And then from then on, I can do really pretty much any business. Now I know how to do things properly. And that took me to another level. And from then on, I'd opened different businesses and they're all done. All right.
So you opened different businesses. So have you still got the security business there? Or are there other businesses that you're managing, that you're involved in?
Yeah, so to be fair, like my brother takes care of the security side of things. I'm involved in management, so sports agency and the media, which is MMA TV. Yeah. That's what I'm directly involved with. Everything else has, other partners or somebody who's running it, and I'm not involved in them areas at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a businessman, would you say that it's better for you to focus on one or two things wholeheartedly than to spread yourself thin? Or if you have the capacity to dabble in everything, is that something that you did out of preference, or is that something that you did because you just wanted to like lock in on one or two things?
It was something for me because the media side of things was a completely new area for me, and I needed to get up to scratch with that relatively quickly, because it's a business that really has exponential growth. So I would be crazy not to focus on something that can be so big, bigger than everything probably put together, because you can have 1 billion people watching something if you wanted to, which you can't do that in these other areas. You need to be, you just can't do that with them. So I focused on this area because it had the most growth potential, and I needed to know the most about it. If I was an expert in media and I was expert in sports agency, obviously I know a lot about security anyway. I could probably do them all, but I wasn't. So I had to concentrate on the one that I needed to come up to scratch on fastest. Yeah, and that was my personal preference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Sid, you're a black man.
I am indeed.
A black man in business. Is that something that's ever... Have you ever looked yourself in the mirror and said, I'm black. I have founded a business. It's been successful. It's still thriving. And I'm moving into other areas. It's been successful. Have you ever stopped, paused, and thought that I am black and I'm doing something groundbreaking here?
Have I ever thought that? I probably have, to be fair. I probably have. Just because I feel like other people put more of an emphasis on it than myself, in all honesty. I don't really think about it so much. I think I'm just trying to do good for really as many people as I can. Because if you look at the things that I do, they're not really for me personally. I manage athletes. That is, I'm doing something for them. I want them to do better. As a byproduct, I do better, but I'm putting, at the early days, it's not like I'm making money. I'm putting money into them, but it's boosting them. It's for them. The media was built as a platform for them to go on. It grew to something bigger, but ultimately it's in order to give to other people so they can boost their careers. So I don't necessarily think about, oh, I'm doing this or I'm a black man in business. I just feel like I'm doing a good job. It's growing. That's great. But along the way, there's been areas where when you're dealing with big corporate companies, there may be elements where you think, you know what? There's not many other black faces in here. It's only me. It's only me. How many black people are there that are building big, successful media companies? I'm sure there's plenty out there, but I don't see it. So maybe I'm doing a good job. But I don't necessarily put an emphasis on it. I'm just doing what I'm doing, and it's working out. So that's probably the most I sort of think about it. But I'm proud of what I've done so far and what I'm accomplishing. I want to do more, and then I can look back and be like, do you know what, you've done a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people look at someone like Michael Jordan as an inspiring figure, the GOAT, that's what they call him, the greatest of all time. In your industry, we've got people like Dana White, who is, I believe he's the president of the UFC, or he's the main face, the main staple of the UFC. Who are the people, or who is a person that you see is like a barometer that this is where I want to get to? It could be yourself, it could be someone else, but who or what drives you to push and to be all that you can potentially be through this business or just in life anyway?
A couple of questions in there, but obviously you mentioned Dana White. He's done a lot of things that I feel like I've been up against. Mixed martial arts is a sport what people didn't respect really in the early days. In America, a lot of the continent, a lot of the states banned mixed martial arts. They wouldn't let you even have an event. They wouldn't even put it on TV. You know, flipping back in the day, porn was on television, and UFC wasn't allowed. Yeah. So this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, this is how bad that people thought it was in the early stages. But he broke through that. He carried on doing it, and 20 years later, from a company that they bought for $2 million, which was basically just 3 letters, and that's it, turned into the biggest franchise in the world and sold for $4.2 billion. You could buy Manchester United at that time for $1 billion. You could buy an NBA team for over $1 or $2 billion at that time. So that shows the level of success that the UFC had, and that was mixed martial arts. So I like the journey that Dana's had. He didn't stop. He carried on going, no matter what anybody said. He cracked on and fulfilled what he loved doing. And that is similar to myself. People be like, oh, well, you know, maybe you could manage footballers, they earn more money. Maybe you could manage musicians, they earn more money. It's not about that. It's about bringing something that is innovative. Nobody thought about it before. which was the same as football back in the day. They was earning £500 a week, and now they earn £200,000 a week or more. This is going to be the same for mixed martial arts. They earn not a lot of money, that's fine, but we build it, 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 and it will be the premium, sport at some point. Who's the most highest rated earning sports star right now, right today? Conor McGregor, #1 in the Forbes list. He is #1. He's a mixed martial artist. It shows you the growth of the sport, and that's just one guy. We're going to bring them all. We're going to bring them all along, and that's why I feel like Dana's quite inspirational to me. Above that, a guy, I don't know if you know, Al Heyman. Have you ever heard of Al Heyman?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen him?
Al Heyman, I've seen him on TV.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He doesn't get about a lot.
Al Heyman is
Not Leonard Ellaby.
Yeah, no. Al Heyman is the guy that Mayweather used to. Yeah.
He's Mayweather's advisor.
Yeah.
Which you rarely see.
Yeah.
Rarely. If you can get him up on an interview, we could do the Pepsi challenge, because I don't think you'll get him up on an interview, because I've never seen him.
Yeah.
I know what he looks like. I've seen his face. Who knows if that's even his face?
Yeah.
But he's pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Of every major boxing fight that's out there. He's the guy at the top of the tree. You barely see him, but he's the guy that everybody goes to. I like that anonymity. I like that he's pulling the strings. I like that he's doing big in the game of boxing, but he's not necessarily in the media. I like that, and I give him credit and I give him respect for doing that sort of thing, for sure. So them two guys, obviously one's a black man and you've got Dana White. The colour doesn't make any difference to me. I respect what both guys have done. And they both, I take a bit from both of them. Yeah, you've done fantastic work. Yeah.
So you came to uni.
I did.
Started a business. Started other businesses. You're now working in sports management, as well as MMA TV, which, as you said, you've got a live event coming up in. And by the time this comes out, we'll probably be able to find it on Samsung TV. But you've gone through a journey. For anybody who is coming to uni, or people who may not necessarily have an understanding of what they want to do in life as of yet, you're somebody who kind of stumbled into a business which now spiraled into something even bigger. What advice through your journey, your business journey, would you give to somebody who kind of doesn't know what they want to do yet?
The advice I would give, and I always really give it, find something that you really like, something you really, really like to do, something that you would get up out of bed every day and do for free, and find a way of making money around it. That is as simple as that. It might not be easy, but it will be worthwhile. And in my opinion, anybody can do anything for 8, 10, 12 hours a day and make money from doing it. As long as they focus on what it is that they're doing, they can make money out of anything that they want. But I would suggest to find something that you enjoy doing, that you love, and find a way to make money out of it.
Yeah.
That's it. Do what you love to do.
Yeah.
It's cliche, but that's the only way. I would do this for free.
Yeah.
And I have done for many years for free.
Yeah.
And I would do it for free now.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I love it. I can talk about mixed martial arts all day long. All day long. I'm around it all day long. I just love it.
Yeah.
And if you find something you love, you ain't got to work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could turn back and speak to your 18-year-old self, what would you say to them?
Buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin. Get it now.
Get it now.
Get it now. Get it. That's it. Get it. You'll be good. You'll be good. You'll be good.
That is so good. That is so good. I was not expecting that. That is so good.
Yeah.
That is so good. Do you know what? While she was speaking before, you were talking about how MMA, mixed martial arts, Dana bought it. Dana bought it for 2 million.
His partners, he had a couple partners.
The Fertitas, they bought it for 2 million.
Yeah.
Sold it for 4 billion. Now you said it's worth. You mentioned that it worth 11 billion. Something like blockchain, Bitcoin. That industry right now, that sector, I think it's worth like 2 trillion.
Yeah.
Right. It's only at the infancy.
Yeah.
Right. Why am I saying this? With your MMA TV, some of the partnerships that you have, you've mentioned Samsung, Rakuten, Panasonic, right? Just to name a few.
Yeah.
Where do you see MMA TV in the next 5 years?
Okay. Well, whilst we're on the Bitcoin and the crypto thing,
Yeah.
I did forget that we actually have a partner in Decentraland, and our event, we was the first MMA event in the metaverse.
Wow.
Which was it was in Decentraland. It was about 2 months ago.
Wow.
And you could go in there virtually.
Wow.
And you could watch the event live. We were the first ones.
Wow.
Yeah, it's called the Aquarium Casino.
Wow.
And it's all to do with crypto. They got a crypto like casino in there. You can sit down, you play with cryptocurrency.
Wow.
Or you win, you can play with, it's real money, it's a real life thing, but it's in the metaverse.
Yeah.
So that again is something innovative.
Yeah.
People, again, it's in the infancy. They probably don't even know. But if we're talking 5 years time, this is something that will be big in the metaverse. You'll go in there, you'll watch events, you'll do stuff what you would do in everyday life. Where our casino is it's in Las Vegas of the metaverse.
Yeah.
But this is the real estate is worth hundreds of thousands of pounds just to buy a plot of land, let alone build the casino in the metaverse. So we have some great partners that are partnered up with that. You've got your NFTs and stuff that we have. You walk around the casino, it's all MMA TV branded.
Wow.
We got our digital artwork on the walls.
Wow.
People can buy, the artwork via NFTs and stuff. So,
wow.
Yeah. I did forget about that, but I'll give them guys a shout out, and we've already done that. We'll be doing our next event with them November 6th. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're really, as well as the commercial aspects of the traditional Samsungs and Panasonics, you are also pushing into, like you said, the metaverse.
Yeah.
What inspired you to do that? What was the eureka moment which thought, wow, this is somewhere that I'd like to position this brand or this company?
Again, another area of business that I'm in is digital assets. We have a company that deals with digital assets and stuff. So I'm big on cryptocurrencies and that sort of thing. So it was something that it just happened, to be honest. It just happened. I was speaking to a guy who was interested because we have a very viral video of some cocky guy who's doing this and he gets kicked in the face. It's a very big viral video. It must be on, 500 million views or more by now. It's massive. And he approached me about that. And then he was speaking about he's into NFTs and cryptocurrencies. And then we got talking. It's like, oh, maybe we could do this with our stuff. And it sort of grew out of nowhere. It wasn't the topic of conversation, but because we have a love of cryptocurrency and digital assets, we put our heads together, partnered up with the right people in the Aquarium Casino, and put on the live event. They had the technology, we had the technology, we made the technology together, done our first event.
Wow.
And that's really how it went.
Wow.
Yeah. It was not something that I'd thought of, I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
It came out of a conversation, and it grew. It was pretty cool. It was very cool, to be honest. Yeah, it was good. Because the people, you can see, we filmed the people watching in the metaverse the event that we was at live.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit crazy, but that's what it was. And there's people, a lot of people turned up in the metaverse. You could see them all standing around watching the screens of what was going on live to us over here. It was crazy, but it was really, really good.
Wow.
So we look forward to growing that area as well.
Yeah.
You know? So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Obviously, we want to grow our own platform. We have our own platform as it is. Obviously, MMATV.com.
Yeah.
People can go and check that out. They can subscribe, and obviously, you know, view the fights and stuff on there and additional content. But the deals that we have with some of these big companies, Samsung being at the forefront, and the ones that, you know, we joined forces with originally, is an amazing partner to have. They're obviously a massive brand, and for them to be really, really pushing our products is amazing. And people can go on there, they don't have to pay. They can go on there and they can watch our stuff on there, and the more live events we do, the more they get to see. So yeah, it's good. It's good. And that's how I see it going in the next 5 years, growing those areas, growing that side of the business, the linear TV side of the business, which is an area that I feel like is going to be 360, so you're going to hear it first. The days of we don't want to watch advertisement, which is really what it's about. We want non-advertisement Netflix. But at this point, you got Netflix, you got Amazon, you got Disney. You're going to have all these things so far. It starts racking up with money again. Before you know it, you're paying £50, £60 because you want all the ones to watch. It's going to come 360 where you're going to get it all for free. You have to watch some adverts. You go and have a cup of tea, you go on your mobile phone in them ad breaks because you probably want it because everybody's on their phones now. And you do that and it comes back on again. And it's going to come 360 like the old days, and we're going to be at the forefront of that. Yeah.
That's good. So in your business life, what are some of the setbacks that you have faced? We'll start when you were in your first business in uni.
Okay.
What was the first setback that you felt there, and how were you able to rise above it all?
To be honest, the first setback was the time that I mentioned earlier when I went to that big meeting, obviously speaking out of a really big business, doing really well, to be told, well, you know, all the bars and nightclubs you have under this banner will just be taken away from you effectively in, you know, 2 weeks. You have staff, you know, I have staff, they rely on that to feed their, you know, their families and stuff. So for me, that was a setback because I lost a lot of business with that. And you know what? It was a mistake. It may sound, I don't know what the word is, like generous of me, but what I did at that time is I put the staff that got taken away from them businesses, I put them into other clubs and bars that I had, but the owners didn't want any more staff, but I gave them to them for free because and paid the people that lost their jobs in the other places to work there. So I put them in the other places, they got free staff, and I paid out my own pocket to put them in the other venues so that they could still work and you know, have money for the family. As nice as that may sound, it's not that smart, really. Okay. Because I'm losing money. There was a good amount of money that I gave away, which I probably wouldn't do now. Okay. But that was a setback. It took me time to get more venues on in order to get them back into work and stuff. So that was a setback for me, losing that work. But obviously I grew from it because obviously I got all my ducks in a row. And I got all the paperwork that I needed and stuff like that. And that is what made me then grow to the next level. So without that setback, I wouldn't have grown to the next level, and I wouldn't have got all the contracts that I did up and down the country with that, basically. Yeah, so that was a setback. That was the first setback. But we overcome it.
So from that setback, you said there that you were able to now take this company from Northampton up and down the country. Wow. Yeah.
Because when you have that paperwork, you don't need to say anymore. They know the level that you're at, because you got to remember, security back then was like quite thuggy. There was people that were just tough guys. They used to work on the doors. But then we went towards regulation. You got your baggages, you got your criminal checks, you got your DRB checks, you got all that sort of stuff. This is what we had. We led with that. If you want to work for my company, you got to be clean and have all this stuff. And when you're going to companies and saying that we've got all this, we've got all the checks, we've got the badges, we've got the licenses, you ain't got to worry about any of this stuff. They've got the training. we take you.
Yeah.
For sure. Because
Yeah.
we don't want the thugs, you know, doing all sorts of crazy stuff, getting into fights on the door and being just silly.
Yeah.
We want the professional, clean cut. I used to go to Vegas a lot, and I used to see the way that the doorman operated there. Very smart, suits, you know, nice little maybe t-shirt underneath. They look the part. I brought that over here. All my guys were smart then. Because when I first started, I had some jeans on and some shoes. That's it. But then after a while, everybody was dressed in nice suits. They looked the part.
Yeah.
And that's different from what was there before.
Yeah.
So we brought something different, and on top of that, we had all the, you know, the right credentials, and we took off.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I had a lot, you know, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
So that was with the security company.
Yeah.
How about in any setbacks that you faced with the sports management business? How did you overcome that?
There's many. There's many. In sports management, you're dealing with a lot of things. A lot. You're dealing with athletes. You're dealing with promotions. There's a lot of things that go wrong. For me, because I like to do things from the bottom and take it all the way to the top, I'm involved with every aspect of an athlete or client's life. So during life, you have many ups and downs. You can have, which is the most heartbreaking for me, you put all your effort into an athlete, you take them all the way from the bottom, raising to the top, and then you get people from outside see how well they're doing, and they're in their ear and stuff like that, and then, you know, come over to us, oh, you should be getting this, you should be getting first class when you travel, you should be getting cars, this sort of thing. And if they go with, you know, sometimes they do, it's not happened a lot, but they go, they listen to it, and they go with them, and you're like, oh man, I put, you know, years of effort into you where you wanted to be, and you left. It's heartbreaking, you know, it's heartbreaking, and it happens. Other times you have athletes that have got absolutely everything. They look the part, they've got the skills, they've got the chat, and they're ready for the big league, or they're in the big league, and, you know, they may get a girlfriend, or they may have a child, or they may not have enough money, and then they fall out of, you know, the sport, and you're like, wow, this person had it all. He just needed to, you know, just stick with it. He's already in the big league. He's already earning the good money, but he left because of this. Again, it's heartbreaking. These are setbacks. There's been times where somebody's gone into the UFC, they've signed their fight, they're getting big money, they're co-main event, they are what they've dreamed of their whole life, and a contract dispute with another organisation that they was with didn't want to let them go. They didn't want to let them go, even though contractually they have fulfilled their obligations. Because they questioned it even, messed up that whole deal. And they was not able to compete in the UFC at that time when they wanted to, because this organisation had questions that they wanted. After the UFC fight had finished, then I'm like, oh yeah, no, yeah, we got it wrong, you can go. It's too late. And this person had been dreaming of that for his whole life. These are setbacks that you don't necessarily overcome, but they're a learning curve. A learning curve. I've had all of these learning curves along the way. Lots, still more to mention, but these are some of the things that do happen, and you don't really get over them, but you know what not to do or what to do with other athletes. And right now we're in a fortunate position where we have a lot of really, really talented guys, undefeated, they're coming along perfectly, they have it all. Some of them issues, you make sure that you nip in the butt before you even, you know, get to it. And they will then move on to their careers and they will fulfill it. And that is the game plan. And so far it's been working tremendously. Yeah. So yeah.
I don't know if you mind me asking this. In terms of your sports management, how many athletes do you manage?
We probably have around 70.
Okay.
Yeah, we have about 70 under contract. So I have a couple people in the team. So personally, me, I manage a set amount. I may have around 30, say. So I have 30, somebody else has 30, and somebody else may have like 10. Okay. You know, so that's how I do it, because then I can personally do all the things that I do on a personal level. Yeah. And it's quite a lot, so I couldn't handle 70 athletes on my own.
Yeah.
It will be way too much.
Yeah.
So I've got 30 that I personally look after,
Yeah.
and it works. That's the way it works well for me.
Yeah. What's the plan with that?
We just keep on growing. We keep on growing. We get more athletes. We grow the business like that. More athletes in more organisations with more partners. And obviously with the MMA TV side, we can bring them up now on the MMA TV platform from grassroots level. So people are exposed to them from day one. Whereas before they'd be exposed to them only if they made it to the top. Now they get that exposure from the bottom all the way through to the top with the MMA TV. So that's it. We keep getting more athletes. We keep on making sure we've got streamline their progression in their career and make sure that they're getting the help and sponsorship and training that they need from the beginning. And it's been working well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has.
That's good. That's good. Got one or two more questions. Because this is Black History Month,
Yep.
you are a black man in business. What advice would you give to a young black person who may have gone through some adversity in life? Not just adversity in life, but who, coming from a background myself where parents want you to be a doctor, they want you to be a lawyer, they want you to be the first black man in space. What advice would you give to somebody who has a dream, but they may not necessarily have the support system around them to make that dream or to take that first step to make that dream a reality? What advice would you give to that person?
I don't know if it's tough love, but I feel like it's quite tough love. I always tell people, number one, nobody owes you anything. That's the most important thing to me. Nobody owes you a thing. Your brothers, your sisters, your mum, your dad, your auntie, your uncle, your friends, nobody owes you anything. So don't rely on anyone. If you're starving on the side of the road, don't expect anybody to come and help you.
Hey.
Help yourself. Don't expect it. That's the first thing. If you can get that out of your mind, that will be the first step that you'll take then to pursue whatever dream it is that you want to pursue, because you won't be relying on anybody else. Don't feel like you're going to start a business and when it's not going quite well, ask somebody for money, because they're not probably going to want to give you any. So you're going to have to fend for yourself. But once you have that idea, once you have gone past that part, no matter what, keep on going, keep on driving towards that dream, and don't stop, don't give up, and you don't need the support because you're going to be supporting yourself. And you know what anybody likes more than being the first black man in space or the first lawyer here or there? Success. Success is what people love, because you know what, anybody who doubted you at the beginning will be the first ones trying to jump on the wagon once you've made it. And that's my advice for everybody, because if you put in your effort 100%, you will make it. You will make it, but you can't wait or rely on anybody else, because they will evidently not be there when you really need it. So don't have that in mind and you'll be fine. Yeah, that's my advice. I don't know if it's good advice or bad advice, but it's real life advice. Because a lot of people you do see, they rely on people like, oh, I didn't have any money and my parents wasn't there to help me or whatever, for whatever reason. Well, because you're probably waiting for them to help you. It means you didn't make that extra effort to do it yourself. No safety net.
Yeah.
No safety net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's very real.
It's very real, yeah.
It's very real.
Yeah.
It's very real, because at times, like you said, the cushion that you have of, like your parents or a big brother or a big sister who can bail you out of situations is what's kind of hindering people. But you just made a real statement. Yeah. A real statement, and if people were to embrace that, then it shouldn't limit them right from the beginning, but just progress on from there. Yeah. How do people find you? MMA TV, where is it? How, if somebody wanted to watch MMA TV, how do people come around it? What platforms are you on?
Obviously, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. MMA TV Live. It's the same for all of them. Type in MMA TV Live, you'll find us. Find us on YouTube. Got a nice following on there. Lots of good videos, obviously for free. Just type in MMA TV on YouTube. You'll see us. Or you can come to the website. We've got a subscription website, mmatv.com. And we have a pay-per-view website, mmatv.co.uk. So everything MMA TV, you'll find us.
That's good. Well, Sid, thank you for your time today.
Pleasure.
You've given us great value in regards to how somebody overcomes adversity and how the adversity can be used to kind of push you on to the next phase of your life. You've given us an understanding that you don't necessarily have to have a clear blueprint of what you want to do, but kind of whatever's there, grab it and run.
Yeah.
And you're a product of that. And you are a black man, and you are in business.
Indeed.
There is definitely great things to celebrate about what you're doing. So we look forward to MMA TV taking over the world.
This is it.
Thank you for being part of UKBF Stories today.
No, it's been a pleasure. It's
Yeah.
been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
It's been fun.
No problem. Do you shake? Do you spud? Good to see you.
And you, buddy.
Thank
And you.
you.
Nice one.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it, man.